Warning, spoiler alert, you might as well jump. You are experiencing the Tom Kelly Show. At its best, when I'm not being all jokey and silly, this podcast is about me trying to find people who can help me and you, of course, the listener, find ways to move forward with their life. Remember the original slogan, 2020 lemons into 2021 lemonade? Well, here we are. It's 2022, and some of us are still eating a lot of pulp. So Kim Perell is somebody I met. I say it right, Perell, right?
Yeah.
Good, okay. There's that moment of fear. Kim Perell is an author. I met her at Good Morning America 3 when Michael Strahan was hosting it a couple of years ago. And we have a lot of common friends, and she wrote a book called Jump. And let me get the exact title here. Jump, Dare to Do What Scares You in Business and in Life. And if that's not what this podcast is about, especially for me, I'm scared of so many things. Before I met Kim, I took a few leaps. Some paid off, and frankly, some didn't. And hopefully Kim will give us some advice to help us jump, but to jump intelligently. And I think that's sort of what we were talking about when I was drunk and I saw you last time at the...
I forgot. We did see each other. Yes.
We were drunken in New York City together.
Yes, that was so good to see you.
So I guess before I get into your background, or I guess what's the right way to interview you? Should I tell everybody you were a big finance tech big shot before and a multimillionaire, blah, 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 like so many people we see on TV, and now you're sharing your wisdom? Is that how I describe you in a folksy way, or?
Yeah, I think I'm a serial entrepreneur that wants to help others take that leap, because it's scary, as you just said. Like, there's so many people that are thinking, hey, I've got a great idea, I've got a business, I know I've been itching to do something new, but it's easier to just not do it. As you know, it's easier to just think about it, dream about it. But my goal is to help you actually do it and to take that leap of faith and jump.
Like, I have a friend, God bless, a listener to the show, my friend Brian, has talked about taking his physical therapy, individual business working for other people into a practice. I'm trying to turn this podcast into a bigger leap. I have friends who have thought about switching careers. What I liked about your book, you're not just telling people to jump. There's a lot. It's not just jump.
No, you need a plan. And so we talk about packing your parachute. It's really important to have a success plan. And usually, it's interesting because right now we're going into 2023. So it's the perfect time to plan. And in the book, we have a 12-month success plan. And it's really about strategizing how you're going to take that and make that change in your life, because it's not just about jumping. I mean, that's just crazy. And I think people have a lot of responsibilities, and it's a rough economy out there. It's about thinking really about what you really want in your life and making a plan to make it happen.
Okay. Now, I just, even in the last sentence, in my head, I'm describing a physical therapist, a comedian, and a model who all want to jump, into different things. Does your advice apply to people in so many different types of fields?
Oh, it applies to everyone. Yes. I mean, I think you could jump in your personal life, your professional life, your career, spirituality, your fitness. It's about taking that first step. It's really about, from where you are today, where do you want to be, and then working your way backwards. So for you, or for your friend that wants to start, go out on his own, it doesn't happen overnight. So how does he sit here today, which is interesting, it's December 2022. I mean, number one, it's like, what's that big vision? So in 1 year from today, if there was a headline, let's say on wherever it was that all of his friends read, or Instagram, what would it say? Like, what actually would that, if it was a total success in what he wanted to do? Because I think a year's enough time to make that change. I wouldn't say a month. I wouldn't say 2 weeks. I would, a year to actually make a meaningful change in your life, because you do have to plan. You do have to prepare. You do have to be, financially responsible. But in a year, I mean, you can 180 your life if you want to, and you have the courage to take that leap.
Okay, I like that one sentence already. Already, anybody listening for only 4 minutes of this show has one big tip, that jumping doesn't mean jumping. It means, where do you want to be in a year?
Yeah. And where do you want to be in a year? And like, let's set that goal. Let's set that vision, because when I talk about vision, it's like crystal clear. What does that look like? What does success mean to you? And I'm doing that right now with a lot of entrepreneurs that I work with, or a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs. I just had a class yesterday, which is about putting that up there, really being clear on where you want to be. And now, where you, in 1 year, because that's a long time. Okay, it's a good time to do it as you go into 2023. Now, how are we going to get there? And that requires a lot of effort, right? It really does. It's not just like, I'd like to be there and then I'll manifest it, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish it.
12 months. If we get rid of whatever day we air this, I mean, we're recording this 2 weeks away from 2023. So what you're saying is, where do you want to be in January of 2024? Doesn't that sound futuristic in some ways? Or
Yeah, where do you want to be in January 20? Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, think about that. And if you start now and really start planning, and I talk a lot about it in the book. Again, it's not just hoping it's going to happen. You have to do a lot of, you have to do a lot of things to make it happen. And a lot of that requires sacrifice, right? It's like the passion to make it happen, which is sacrificing probably things you may not want to, which is, maybe turning off Netflix at night and working on whatever it is that you want to work on, or getting up early, staying up late. Like, it will require work. There's no way to be successful without hard work.
okay, let's pause on the plan for a minute. Is there a difference between jumping and just elevating what you already got and may not be working?
Well, okay, well, there is. I think there's three types of jumps, and I talk about them in the book. So the first type of the jump is survival jump. And I did this jump originally when my first company went bankrupt, and it was basically, I got fired. It was an emergency exit, and like, I didn't have a plan. Like, I jumped basically, so it pushed me out, and like, that was that was my jump. It wasn't a planned jump. It was a survival jump, and I had to figure out what to do next. But it's still a jump.
Right.
Second is really about like an opportunity jump, which is where you are today and where you want to be. How do I go from working my career for someone to working for myself? That would be just something. I have a great idea. I think I could do it alone or on my own. And how do I do that and have the courage to do that? So it's more opportunistic. Yeah, like, I'm happy. And the third is a stagnant jumper. And this is pretty much 80% of the people I talk to is, I'm just stuck. Like, I'm not happy. I've been doing this 20 years. I've been doing 10 years, 5 years. I hate my job. Like, I just am stuck, Kim. And it's like a stagnant, just, how do I just change? I need change, a life change. And we've seen this so much over the last couple of years, where everyone's stuck at home and they're thinking, I got to change, whether it be my career or my job or my life or my relationships, I have to make a change. And that's where I see most people coming from. It's just like, okay, I got to do something different. And the answer is yes, you got to do something different.
Okay, I like this. I like the doing something different, or at least doing something in the same path in a different way.
Yes. Yeah, definitely lean into your strength. So if you've got great strength, like as a comedian, yeah, lean into that. Like, it's a great, now you got the podcast, right? It's like you can parlay those strengths and pivot for sure.
There are some people who feel stagnant. Are they stagnant because they're doing something they shouldn't be doing? Or is that a decision you have to make for yourself?
I think it's a decision you have to make for yourself. I know we talk about in the book, which is like, trust your gut. Your gut instinct knows, right? You know what you want to do. If you're like, if you take enough time and be quiet in your mind and just listen to yourself, you do know. It's just making that decision's hard.
No, and it's funny you say that, because a couple of people we've had on the show lately have been pushing meditation. Getting yourself quiet, getting back to what you're thinking on the inside. There are some people who I see listen to their gut, and you just want to say, you should not be listening to your gut. Like, where's the difference between the voice inside and the crazy voices in your head?
Well, there's difference in your gut and the crazy voices in your head, right? Because that's just the critic just telling you, I don't know what they're telling you. But like,
okay,
I do believe your being knows, like, if it's on the right path, right? If you're in alignment with what you are passionate about. Like, I think people do know, and they also know if it could have been great and you might have been passionate for, 20 years, and maybe now You just want to make a change. Great. You should embrace that. That's not something to be, hit under the rug and think, oh, I'm just going to do this for the next 20 years. Like, let's think about what your life could be. I mean, it's so interesting. My mom actually just wrote a children's book. She's 72. Go
Really?
mom. Like, it's
Yeah.
so, like, I love that. She's taking up painting. So it could be anything, but I feel that trying new things and getting outside your comfort zone is energizing. And that alone, just the idea of it will start energizing you to move and to get into a different flow.
Yeah. Now, that's also very big on, I don't know if you've read The Artist's Way. That's for a creative book. It's about wandering a little bit and doing things outside your creative comfort zone that maybe will inspire you within your creative comfort zone. But I like your idea of the plan. And I think if I'm going to try to find what's useful for my listeners today, you have the 12-month vision. Here, whatever it is, everybody who's listening, picture where you want to be in the futuristic year of January 2024, only 54 weeks away. Where do we go from there? Everybody
You gotta write it down. Like,
write it down.
You're like 10 times more likely to achieve that. So like, first write it down. And I usually put it on a sticky and put it on my bathroom mirror. I see it every morning and every night. And like this, I've done this forever. And I feel like having that clear vision is a constant reminder of prioritizing what I want to achieve, right? Because it just kind of goes by the wayside. So I write it down. It's stuck to my bathroom mirror. So write it down. And like my husband sees, my kids see it. They ask, what are we going to, they all are wondering what this means. And I think it's a great exercise that is meaningful.
So like what's stuck to your bathroom mirror right now?
Oh my gosh. You know what's interesting? I'm going through the same process, but the last thing I had stuck to my bathroom mirror was I was going to sell my company. And I did. So
and you sell my company as a,
I said, it had the headline, which was TechCrunch. I wanted to be featured. So I literally did the exact exercise I'm saying to you.
I'm like, I'd love to know what your sticky looked like.
Yeah. It's like, it's a post-it note and said, Adconian Direct sells to Singapore Telecom for, 230 million or whatever our price was. So yeah. And then literally I had it up there. It got blown by my hair dryer. My kids are like licking it, like the whole thing. But,
and was it the same sticky for 12 months? And that's a silly question, but was it the same piece of paper for 12 months?
Actually 9 months. Because once you hit it, then you got to like get a new sticky and keep moving, right? Like it's always something, close enough. I'd say
your 12-month sticky lasted 9 months. The piece of paper lasted, and I know that's a silly thing to harp on, but the paper.
I had to like duct tape it, because this is like it was serious. If you've ever done an M&A deal, it's like it's very intense.
Yeah.
Like,
but you didn't like rewrite it. But I also find interesting, just from a creative or manifesting thing, you didn't rewrite it when it got crinkly. You didn't print it out again on the computer. It was one vision. Boom, you stuck with it, and it weathered with your dream a bit.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely went through the ringer like me. But we came out the otto side, which is, again, there's going to be roadblocks and detours and setbacks with any dream. But having the tenacity and perseverance and commitment to keep going is what separates the best from all the rest. Okay.
So now, step 1, create in your head, what is your 1-year vision? 2, write it down. What's 3? If we're just shooting the breeze. Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, some other tools that I use as I go, as I'm looking to achieve something is like to do an audit. And this is kind of controversial because people like it, they don't like it. It's like audit, which means when you're looking at, I believe you're the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with, right? So really looking at who are you spending your time with, write a list of all these people. And then honestly, I put a plus or a minus. I just go tick, tick, tick. Like, do they inspire you? Do they energize you? Do they, help you become your best self? Like, do they encourage you? Or are they just like, hey, I'm going to share you my 12-month dream. And they're like, Kim, I don't believe you can achieve that. Like, that's never going to work. Like, those people, audit them out. Like, those are not the type of people you should be surrounding yourself if you want to achieve greatness. Like, get them out. And then people say, hey, Kim, what about like my family? Like, and I'm like, if your family.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
now, are you telling I'm up to about 3 people in my head right now who should probably be getting divorced, including me, and then I'm going to have to go put myself up for adoption.
you may need to spend less time with them in the year ahead. I mean, it's true because you're trying to level up your own life, and if they don't believe in you, they will only drag you down. I'm not saying don't call with them, but definitely, know how much how much time you're gonna spend. You know, the person that calls and you look at your phone and you're like, oh, I don't want to pick that up. That person is a person to audit out.
Okay, well, what if you're married to that person? And I sort of mean that for real.
Well,
Well, I mean, like, no,
that can-
and hang on for a second before I don't want to bring you down with a heavy question, but for real, what if you are attached to great human beings who just for whatever reason, whether it be their level of education, their level of hope, or they have a separate set of fears, they may not sync up with your vision, but you do have to share a bed with them, or you share a home with them, or you share Thanksgiving with them. Like for me, my way of handling it always was my family who loves me and I love them. I have an incredible family, but I don't let them come see me do stand up because they all have this little thing in their head of I'm the little goofy, like it just sounds crazy. But one, I don't think they see me as the great comic that I am in the places that I have been, and that's okay. And two, I don't think they get it, if that makes sense, or I don't want them to bring me down, or maybe even if they don't see me the way I think they see me, I see them as seeing me as the way I think they see me. And that's the circle. That said, like, how do you audit? That's your word, audit. How do you audit if you can't do a hard audit?
I think it depends who you're auditing. Obviously, you're married to them. That's a whole different
Yeah.
conversation. I don't know if I can help. I would say again, it's a balance though. So if you have someone that is bringing you down, you need to find other people that are lifting you up to
Yeah.
offset it. And I
That
think
I like.
that's what, so maybe it's a 1 to 5 ratio. I don't really know what the ratio is. It depends how much they're bringing you down, but you have to balance it with other people that are lifting you up. And I think
Yeah.
that's what surrounding yourself with people that do believe in you, encourage you, want to support you, want to help you. And honestly, keep looking for those people because there are people that do want to. Right. Like, do you want to see other people?
Yeah. At the very least, surround yourself with more positive people to offset the weirdos.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a balance, right? Everything's in life's a balance. Or honestly, at some point, you just have to say, I'm not going to talk to you about, like, if it's your parents, I don't believe in you.
Mm.
Like, I'm not going to talk to you about my dreams anymore because every time you do, you bum me out and then I don't feel like I can achieve them. And honestly, they're projecting their insecurities and doubts of themselves on you. So it's like, that's not yours to take. So it's really about realizing that and then maybe not share.
Or your 5. Who do you talk to about your dreams?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've got 4 kids and then I got my husband. So like I'm like game on. And listen, if
Really?
they don't want to listen,
Is
they're
it
gonna get
really?
audited out really quickly, Tom.
You're not auditing out the kids for real? Are the kids and the husband the ones you vibe with to get your energy up?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Like they're
No,
yeah,
that's
they are. Well, I mean, they're 3, I mean, like 3 years old is so cute, right? Like they're like, "Mama, you're my best friend." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can say anything." Like, and they'll be like, "Yeah, you're gonna do it, mom." Like I could tell them, "Mom, be a comedian." Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be astronaut. Yes, mom, you got it. Like they're so young, they don't know. They're like, "Great, mom."
yeah.
They're all young enough that they actually don't know what they don't know, which is the type of people you kind of want to surround yourself with.
So there's something to be said about that. The people who don't know you can fail. When you jump, do you have to consider is failure an option, or by the time you get your plan down, are you like, I know the jump's going to work? Like,
I know it's scary and you never know if it's going to work. I'll be honest. Like I've taken many jumps, but you have faith. And I think if you plan enough, you have a backup plan. So let's say it doesn't work out. Let's say you leave your job, you try to start something new. In my book, I talk about, well, you need at least 6 months of reserves to ensure that you could land back on your feet or make sure that you can cover your expenses. So I'm not, again, saying just to jump blindly, quit your job and like, go do whatever. It's like, let's get a plan in a year. And I love a good side hustle. I mean, listen, there's 24 hours in a day. You can spend 8 hours at your current job. You can spend 8 hours sleeping. You got another 8 hours. If you got 4 kids, it's hard, but there's still more that 8 hours of opportunity where you can create and ideate and like come and work on your side hustle, creating or whatever you're doing, that's an 8 hours. I think people forget about those 8 hours, which goes back to like audit. Let's audit more. So you can people audit, you can time audit, which is limit how much time you're spending on social media, how much time you're spending on TV, how much time you're listening to the news. Just like I'm going to do 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then I'm turning it off. Like just
It's
as
funny
you
you
would
say
a
that. 'Cause
diet.
I'm when you get into the audit, and for me, listen, half of being a comedian is the downtime, and or not even the downtime. Like actually, I think it's Colin Quinn had a great line about stand up, which is if you like being a comedian, you better like driving on the Jersey Turnpike. And it is, so you have time there, and you get into auditing that time. And me, I got my little phone and the little apps and the whatnot. And one of my apps that I go to a lot is the New York Times, and I've been obsessed, or I keep reading. Oh, did my headphone cut? There we go. I'm back. Like you start reading about Ukraine, you start reading CNN, election this, election that. And I'm realizing that doesn't put me in a happy, I'm living my dream spot.
No, audit that. I mean, you should be knowledgeable, but like once you go past the knowledge state, now you're just into a state that's actually starting to bring you down. Again, audit your time. Spend time focusing on what you can control.
A mentor of mine had a great line about the energy you create around yourself. But what else do you do to elevate your energy?
Yeah, and it's not even about people believing your dreams. It's like if you don't believe in your dreams, nobody else will. So you have to be like your biggest fan, which I know it's hard because you have your inner critic and you're constantly wondering, am I good enough? I mean, when I started my first company, I had no idea what I was doing. Literally. It's like I had no experience being a CEO, an entrepreneur. I didn't have any money. Like I had so many things going against me, but I did have the confidence. And how do you get confidence? And I think, like, to your point, how do I get the courage to believe in myself to be able to go do something? What I like to do is like, and I think it's amazing. Again, you need another pen and paper or write it on your phone. And I have one on my phone, a highlight reel. And the highlight reel is like, take a look back at your life and highlight all of the great accomplishments that you felt really good that happened to you. And so when you're wondering, like whether that be your marriage or your kids or an award you won or a sports team that you were successful at or a show that a great comedy show, just that's like a highlight reel that of a movie that you just keep playing over and over to build your confidence when you don't feel you have it. And I think it works really well just to take a moment and say, okay, I don't feel good. I'm scared. I'm going on an interview. I'm going on like whatever it is. Just remind yourself of how great you are, and it will be much easier to be the person that you want to become.
What do you say to the person who jumped, fell down, and they're rebuilding?
Like failure's not, permanent. It's a temporary place. What am I going to do now? And really looking at, and let's take another jump.
Okay. I love your energy, and I want to drink you with a straw. 2 questions here. I go see you in 10 minutes. Cameras off. Are you this perky?
I'm pretty happy. I mean, life's pretty good. So yeah.
Okay, good. If people want more of your positivity, in addition to your 2 books, which I'll put into the show notes, where else can we find you?
Yes, you can find me via my website at kimperell.com, KIMPERELL, or any Instagram or Facebook, LinkedIn, bite-sized content.
I like bite size. Okay, actually, and here we go. On the sticky note, should it be empirical with numbers? Like I'm trying to come up with mine, and mine is something on the realm of performing in more clubs, connecting with more people, and the podcast having more listeners. But that all sounds cold.
No. You need a number.
Yeah,
metrics. How do you know where you want to go? Like, how do you know you achieved it? Definitely put a number on it. Like I want to X, Y, Z, P, whatever it is. But yeah, I like the number.
Would you do this again? Could I put on my sticky note, talk to Kim again in 3 to 6 months?
Oh my gosh, please. Let's see where we're again. We need
I'd like to do a progress report.
Progress. We need to see how we're doing.
Oh, hold on. Whole other podcast there. Okay.
Right?
Accountability partners. Do you have?
Love. Yes. I just talked about this yesterday. I love accountability partners. It works. You see it at the gym. It works, right? Having someone that knows and is accountable. The best thing to do is find someone else that really wants to achieve something, share your vision, and then set up time each month to connect with them and really hold yourself accountable. It's amazing how much just sheer put up a vision, get some accountability, audit your time, your chance of success will tenfold.
All right. I think I've digested it's funny. I want to keep talking to you, but I think you've given me so much that I need to do something with it before I keep talking to you. Like, I feel like
All right, we'll come back, circle back.
We will circle back. No, you've given me a lot, Kim. Am I missing anything? Actually, you tell me, am I missing anything to start my 2023?
I think you just got to execute. It's about doing it. So it's great talking, but now we need to do.
All right. On that, folks, listen, you know what I ask for every week. Just do it, people. And if you have questions about Kim or you want to buy her book, that will all be in the show notes. And until next time, good night, Miami.